So this is the Edpuzzle site. When we get started with Edpuzzle, of course, the first thing we have to do, like with most sites, is we got to sign up for the site. And it's really easy to do this. All you have to do is go on up to the right-hand corner and click on Sign Up. And there are two options that are given to you here. You can either sign up as a teacher or your students can sign up. So we're going to go ahead today and we're going to just sign up as a teacher. And when you come over here, all you have to do is sign up with Google or sign up with Edpuzzle by creating an account with them. So you can just go on over to Google and you can go ahead and sign up using your Google account, which is something I can do pretty easily for myself. Or you can come over here and you can sign up by putting in your name, putting in your email, and then just go ahead and you can agree to their terms of service. Once you do that, you can create your own account. For me, I already have an account, so we're going to go ahead and go on over to Login for me, and I'm going to go over back to here where it says Teacher, and I'm going to go ahead and log into Edpuzzle. Once I have done that, it's going to take me over to their main site, and now we can navigate through the site and take a look at a few different options that you have. Okay, now we're over at the main site for Edpuzzle, and there are a few things I would like to show you that are really important. If we go over to the left-hand side, you have a few different options that are available to you. You can go over to your own content, which is what you're seeing right now. This is the content that I've created over time. The other thing that I can do is I can actually come up to my school, and your school, if it is an account, will be able to do this as well. And I can actually take a look at what other teachers have created at my school, and I can use that in my collaboration and also what I want to use with the students. Another great thing that I can do is come down and I can actually go to Edpuzzle itself and I can search up what other people have done. For example, let's say that right now I am teaching about the Spanish-American War, and I'd really like to use an Edpuzzle that somebody else has created because I just don't have the time to create one right now. Not a problem. I can go ahead and look this up, and then I can borrow one from another teacher. Another thing that I can do is use some of these other sites like YouTube, Khan Academy, National Geographic, TED Talks. The list just goes on here. Let's go down to Crash Course though. Crash Course, there's a video on the Spanish-American War. Now the difference is with this, I'm going to have to create the Edpuzzle that my students are going to be able to use, but it's really easy for me to find the subject matter that I want to use in order to do that. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create an Edpuzzle for the Spanish-American War. Okay, so how do I create an Edpuzzle once I have found the information I would really like to use? All I have to do is go down to the video that I want to use, in this case the Spanish-American War, and go ahead and click on that. Once I've done that, what I want my students to be able to do is to watch this, but then also to be able to answer questions that they're going to need to answer in order to be held accountable as they're watching the video. How do I do that? I just go ahead and I go down to Edit down here on the right-hand side, and that's going to take me to this site. Now what I want to do is create questions that the students can use in order to answer as they go through the Edpuzzle. So a couple of options I want you to notice up here on the right-hand side. One option is for multiple choice questions. Another is for open-ended questions. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click this video and get it going. And I'm going to show you how you can create those questions to keep your students accountable. Okay, once we've chosen a video, the next thing we want to do is we want to be able to edit it so that we can add questions to this so that our students are going to be held accountable. How do you do something like that? Go on down to the right-hand side down here where it says to edit, and when you get to edit, you get a few different choices. The most important we want to take a look at here at the top is questions. So as the students are going to be watching this, you are going to be able to create questions to hold them accountable as they go through Edpuzzle. Here's how you do something like this. If we go ahead and we start playing the video.
Hi, I'm John Green. This is Crash.
So we're going to see John Green come on. He's going to explain the information he needs. Now let's just say for a moment that we get out to a particular point and we want to start asking questions of our students. At this point, we want them to be accountable and show that they are listening to what is being presented on this video. Let's say we want to do a multiple choice question. We can come up here to the top right-hand side and we are going to create a multiple choice question for this part of the video. So let's just say when we get to this part that we want to address what the difference is between imperialism and other forms of colonialism that's happened in the past. We could say, according to John Green, European imperialism was best described as, and now we can answer in our choices. So search for resources or settlements for religious freedom. Okay, now let's say that we want to challenge the students a little bit more and we really don't want to just see two possible choices. We can go down and add another choice. So we could say here, the expansion of African slavery for sugar cultivation. Now let's just say for a moment the first answer was not correct and that we wanted to switch this around to one of the other answers. It's really easy to do that. We just go up to the X here and we can make this one wrong, and then we can go down here and make this one correct. And we kind of know that that's not the case. The first one really is the best possible answer, so let's go ahead and switch that back to the first one being correct and the second one being wrong. Now all we have to do is go ahead and save, and then we're going to hit continue, and that's going to allow our video to go on. Now let's just say that we get a little bit further out into the video and we want our students this time to provide more explanation, not just have a multiple choice question. Really easy to do. All we have to do is go up to the right hand side where it says open-ended question, and we can type in a question that makes them provide a little bit more of an elaborated answer. In this particular case, what was Karl Marx's criticism of European imperialism? So, just like we did before, all we have to do is press save, and then we're going to press continue, and that's going to allow our video to go on. Okay, let's say now that we are at the end of our video and we want to assign this to our students. How do we do something like that? All we have to do is come up to finish. And when we do that, what we're going to see now is the assign button down here. We click assign, and I've got a number of classes that I teach that I could assign this to. In this case, I'm going to assign it to AP World History. When I assign it to AP World History on the left, now I can come over to the right-hand side and I can go ahead and assign a date and time. So I'm going to make this available to my students on June the 23rd, and I think I'm going to make it available to them by 8 o'clock in the morning, so 8 a.m. And then I want to make it due the next day by 8 a.m. So I'm going to go ahead and make it due on June the 24th, again at 8 a.m. in the morning. All I have to do is press save, and now that is saved to them. So a couple of things that we have over here, it's really important. Number one, you want to make sure that you prevent skipping. Why is that important? Because it makes sure that your students are going to answer all the questions that you have created. The other thing that's really great about Edpuzzle is, let's say you have a student who has some hearing issues, or even a student who just has a hard time following along with how quickly these can go. If you turn on closed captions down here, you'll create a transcript for the students and they can see how the video is going forward. Now all we have to do is assign this. So once you're ready to assign the assignment, where are you going to put that at? And how do you get the way that you can assign this to your students? Go down to share the assignment, and when you're down here, you have a couple of different options available to you. You can get a link or you can get an embed code. So if I wanted to take that link and I wanted to copy it, I can now copy this into any learning management system I have, whether it's Canvas, Schoology, or Google Classroom. I can do the same with the embed code. Once you've done that, your students will be able to go here and they will be able to use that in order to watch the video and answer the questions. Okay, once you've assigned this and your students have completed it, now what you can do is you can go in and grade the assignment. So it's really simple off of how you can do this. What you can do is come on back over here to the main page and over to your students, and you're going to see them all down here and whether or not they've done the assignment. You can, if you want, look through the questions themselves and take a look at how students did those questions. But here's the great feature off of this. If you go up to the top right-hand side, so if you go up to Gradebook, what you can now do is go on down and you can see what your students did, and you can go to each one of their answers and grade them. Now in this particular case, my class has not completed actually doing this assignment, but if they had, what I can do is click on this and it will take me over to their answers, and now I can go through each one of their answers and I can grade their answers. One last thing that I want to show you is how you can check up on your students and just see how they're doing. You can do that by going over to My Classes, and when you come over here, you've got a few different things that you can look at up at the top. You can take a look at the assignments that are due. You can take a look at your students. But let's take a look and see some of the answers that have been created for me as of recently from some of my students. For example, let's just say that I want to take a look at one of my students' answers, and I'm going to come over here to him, and I can actually go through, and now I can actually grade those answers. So for example, if I did multiple choice, I already keyed that in this particular case, Edpuzzle is going to grade it for me. But if I wanted to take a look at how this particular student did on this answer, how did Genghis Khan unite the Mongol clans, I can take a look at his answer and decide if this is the best possible answer that I like. If I do, then I can come over here and press a check, which makes it correct. However, let's just say for a moment that I don't like that particular answer and I want to mark it as wrong. I can press the X, and then I can even give a comment. So I might want to tell the student, you know, Genghis Khan was a really charismatic ruler, used his leadership and new technologies to unite the clans. I now have given him this comment, and that can help him with the feedback that he needs in order to answer the question. So that's Edpuzzle. There's a lot to play around with here. I think what's so awesome about this type of software for you to use is that you have the ability to interact with your students using a whole variety of different videos from YouTube, from other teachers' content, from content that is created at your campus, and your own content that you want to create to engage students, get them thinking, hold them accountable, and then create those flipped lessons where you can extend into your classroom and do more activities. Okay, see you in class.